Alteria fires off the Sky Attack, gets the Bomber Snow low, and we see the aggressive snipe with Aerodactyl. The opponent sends back out Pidgeot. What the heck is in the back? The opponent must be so weak. Aerodactyl on a sliver of HP gets the farm down. The opponent's final Pokemon is Golbat. The first Rock Slide forces the opponent's final Protect Shield, and the second Rock Slide is going to be all she wrote. GG's and thanks for playing. Welcome back to the channel. Today is the first time we're going to be featuring my channel regular, the King of Entertainment, Ty. He is repping one of the new Pokemon. We're going to be taking a look at Steel Wing Aerodactyl. I'm sure you can hear in my voice, I've got an awful cold, and my voice is struggling, but we're going to shoutcast regardless, so I apologise if my voice is sounding somewhat husky. Without any further ado, let's get into the battles. And in game 1, we lead Shadow Aerodactyl into Noctowl. Aerodactyl, due to its sub-rock typing, does resist these wing attacks, and my god, if Noctowl don't know just how hard Aerodactyl hits, my god, are they about to find out. We farm up, throw the Rock Slide, forces us early shield advantage. The opponent's at a Shadow Ball. Ty's going to respect it, and the opponent is not baiting. Before this season's move update, Aerodactyl was essentially a one-trick pony, throwing rocks and being a fast move, beat-down specialist. However, this season is actually able to spam out his super hard-hitting charge moves. Ty forces both Protect Shields, then invests his own final Protect Shield on the Shadow Ball. It's now all shields down. The opponent continues to stay in. They play to the CMP Ty once again, and Aerodactyl vanquishes Noctowl back to their Pokeball. The opponent sends in Bastiodon, and Bastiodon is going to be greeted with the GOAT Shadow Swampert. The opponent's final Pokemon is Metachan, and we answer with Alteria. It looks like in this battle, alignment is going to be king. However, if the opponent wants to run Public Enemy #1, aka Wallface, they absolutely deserve to get RPS. The opponent stops tapping, wanting to get some farm on their Wallface. However, Bastiodon, you sir, have zero chance of beating Swampert. What the heck are you going to do? Throw Stone Edges, throw Flamethrowers. Swampert doesn't give a fuck. The only way that Bastiodon would be beating Swampert is if this opponent was running a Purified one and they landed a return. The opponent throws the Stone Edge, which does absolutely nothing. Swampert can even tank another one. The opponent continuing to play it out, and it looks like Ty, being the King of Entertainment, is going to go for that bad manners Earthquake. The opponent recognising it, try to top left, but they get quaked regardless. GG's and thanks for playing. In the next battle, we see Aerodactyl into Dragonair. Holy, look at the Dragon Breaths. By the time Dragonair reaches an Aqua Tail, which is only 12 Dragon Breaths, Aerodactyl is already down to half health. We shield the Aqua Tail. We then see the Simul Swap of Alteria into Skarmory. This is like Season 1. These two flyers used to reign supreme in the Great League. However, last season was very hostile. However, this season is appropriately named Timeless Travels, and all the Pokemon that were meta back in the early season seem to have play once again. Ty lands the Dragon Pulse. The opponent looks for the full Steel Wing farm down, and Alteria, still not done, reaches the Sky Attack, forces that Protect Shield, and gets the opponent down deep into the red. We send back out Aerodactyl, win the charge move prior event. Is the opponent willing to shield to get off their energy? No, they're not. We see their pivot now into Swampert. Out comes Lantern, back out comes Dragonair. This isn't a good matchup for Swampert usually. However, they're already down below half health, and they're in Hydro Cannon range. The first Hydro Cannon forces the opponent's final Protect Shield, and the second one is going to vanquish Dragonair back to their Pokeball. Just the silly electric fish does remain, but Swampert, smelling blood, looking for the Quake. The opponent doesn't want that smoke and concede the match. What the heck is on my screen? Ladies and gentlemen, we have entered the Spice Zone as the opponent is running a Smackdown Clawitzer. Why? I have no idea. And if you're wondering why Ty is going straight Hydro Cannon, this thing is so glassy. Ty shields up the Crab Hammer. The opponent gets the boost. However, I really wouldn't recommend shielding, and I would recommend the opponent switching out. No, the opponent commits a terrible Protect Shield. They're so slow to charge moves. Ty is going to be able to outpace to the next Hydro Cannon, and it absolutely is going to vanquish them back to their Pokeball. The opponent is now all shields down. They then send out Hippowdon. Hippowdon into the loaded Swampert. Hydro Cannon near one-shots. We then send out Aerodactyl, get the Steel Wing farm down, and the opponent's final Pokemon is Hisuian Arcanine. Holy, triple weak to the GOAT Shadow Swampert. An incredibly spicy team from this opponent. However, it isn't going to be Spice winning this battle, as Earth Power vanquishes Arcanine back to its Pokeball. Heading into the next one. Aerodactyl into Greedent. The Mud Shots are single resisted. However, this thing did get access to Trailblaze, and we are going to take neutral. Ty thinks about shielding. The opponent is running the new move of Trailblaze. which is going to be somewhat of a problem as it does vamp up their attack, and the next Trailblaze is going to do even more damage. With that in mind, Ty pivots out into Alteria and is greeted with the Ice Queen Frostlass, and things have gone from bad to worse. Alteria reaches the Sky Attack forces the opponent's final protection. However, they're hitting us for double super effective. The opponent going to be able to get the full farm down, but no. The opponent gets scared, throw a charge move, and we now have a lifeline. Back out comes Aerodactyl. We go straight for the Rock Slide. Rock Slide, of course, secures the knockout. Back out comes Greedent. I believe we will survive one Trailblaze, as Greedent isn't really that attack weighted. The opponent throw the Trailblaze. We do survive. The opponent then going to fire off the boosted Body Slam. Body Slam is resisted, but of course does knock out. It's now one Shield Swampert versus the world. The opponent then looked to make a very nice catch, catching onto Golbat, banking a Body Slam for the road. However, Golbat doesn't appreciate the Hydro Cannon. The opponent doesn't even commit to the Shadow Ball, which is a huge blunder. That is going to allow Ty to massively overfarm. One Hydro Cannon will be taken care of Golbat. Hi Golbat, bye Golbat. Greedent did exit with the Body Slam, but the Mudshot goes through. We've now got the Hydro Cannon loaded. We shield up the Body Slam, and it's going to be Hydro Cannon, Hydro Cannon. I think this opponent made a few mistakes. They should have actually committed to the Powder Snow farm down on Alteria and should have committed to the Shadow Ball on Swampert. But it is what it is. It's the early ranks. In the next battle, once again, we see Dragonair in the lead. Ty looks to catch the Aqua Tail onto Alteria, and the catch is successful. The opponent continues to stay and looking to reach the Body Slam. They do reach it on 1 HP and a Dream. Shout out to Baby Girl, of course, making her appearance. Ty goes to the One Shield Dragon Breath farm all the way down, and the opponent sends out Tentacruel. This Squid's another Pokemon that very much benefited from the Scald buff. However, in the Great League, the bulk isn't really there. I think it's going to be a top meta threat in the Ultra League, but I've got distracted. Ty reaches the second Sky Attack, forcing a Protect Shield. Oof, this Squidworth is absolutely loaded. We're in somewhat of a rough spot. Ty sends out Swampert. Swampert's not going to appreciate the Scald, but the opponent go for a very silly bait him with the Acid Spray, and then send out Greedent. Greedent is greeted with the Hydro Cannon. Ty then looks to catch the Body Slam onto Aerodactyl. Unfortunately, that was a CMP Ty, so we're caught and not able to switch out. Ty gonna farm up, look to make the catch, and this time the catch is successful. Rock, an absolutely terrible defensive typing, but it does at least resist normal. Ty tanks the Body Slam, farms up, throws the Rock Slide. Rock Slide's either going to knock out or force the opponent's final Protect Shield. The opponent farming up, getting super greedy. They play to the CMP type. They do not win. This opponent doesn't know the Steel Wing counts, and that should be game, set, and match. Back out comes Tentacruel. Tentacruel gets the full Poison Jab farm down, but Swampert reaches the Hydro Cannon, and we're going to be able to take that game. Heading into the next battle, we lead Shadow Aerodactyl into the Kentucky Fried Chicken, Bird of Death. Unfortunately, we don't have Rock Throw, but regardless, there's a pretty dominant matchup. Ty farms up, throws the Rock Slide. Rock Slide, of course, will be forcing a Protect Shield. We then pivot into Alteria. Alteria farms up. The opponent then send out Vigoroth, and Vigoroth is by no means an Alteria counter. They do now have access to Rock Slide, but these counters are still resisted. And Ty has a 2-to-1 shield advantage, so we could just shield up the Rock Slide, return fire with the Sky Attack, and put shield and emphasis on the opponent. We shield the Rock Slide, return fire with the Sky Attack. Is the opponent willing to shield to get off the next Rock Slide? No, they're not. Talonflame did exit with 100 energy, but I don't think Fly will be lethal. Back out comes Talonflame. Let's see what the opponent wants to do. They throw the Flame Charge, vamping up their attack. I quite like this play, to be honest, as the Fly now will knock out. And of course, Talonflame is now boosted for whatever we send out. We send out Swampert. The opponent's final Pokemon is Wish Daddy Cash, and we're going to see the battle of the Mud Boys. Hydro Cannon lands. We then pivot into Aerodactyl, looking to catch the Mud Bomb. Unfortunately, the catch is unsuccessful. The opponent fires off the Scald, securing the knockout, and Ty putting all his hopes and dreams on the back of the goat. Ty with 1 Protect Shield, 2 hard behind, shields the Mud Bomb. Swampert continuing to farm up, returns fire with the Hydro Cannon on the CMP Ty to the next Mud Bomb. The opponent invests that final Protect Shield. Swampert can tank a Mud Bomb, but it's not going to be pretty. Mud Bomb gets us down to around 20% health. The opponent then pivot back out into Talonflame. Ty very nicely overfarms. Hydro Cannon vanquishes Talonflame back to their Pokeball. Back out comes Wish Daddy Cash, and Swampert does goat things once again, sweeping the backline. GG's, and thanks for playing. Oof. Aerodactyl into the silly electric fish. We see the instant pivot into Alteria, and Alteria is going to be greeted with Jellicent. Unless the opponent's got Ice Beam, this isn't a bad matchup for Alteria, as the Dragon Breaths tear through the opponent, whereas the Hexes don't do all that much damage. We see Tai invest the protection of the opponent, YOLO the Shadow Ball. It looks like Tai very much wants to realign. We then farm up, throw the next Sky Attack. The opponent likely let this go as Shadow Ball won't knock us out. The opponent does invest that protection. We see the instant no shield from Tai. The opponent actually have Ice Beam. What the heck? The opponent 5-heads us. What a play from the opponent. Aerodactyl does manage to get the full Steel Wing farm down. Back out comes a silly electric fish, and do they know about the Earth Power coverage? Earth Power goes unshielded. We then pivot out into Swampert. Swampert gets the Mud Shot farm down. As if my voice wasn't already fucked from this horrible cold, we're seeing some insanity. Swampert gets greeted with the Earthquake. Earthquake forces the opponent's final Protect Shield. Tai able to reach the Hydro Cannon on the CMP Tai. Hydro Cannon gets the opposing Swampert down deep into the red. And I imagine at this stage now, we're just going to try and resist it. Steel Wing farm down. The opponent's going to need to double up, as we've still got a Protect Shield. The opponent reaches a double, but Aerodactyl sneaks the Steel Wing, and Aerodactyl is a Swampert counter confirmed. You heard it here first. GG's to both trainers. In the next battle, we see Aerodactyl into Jellicent, and Tai farms up, makes a very nice catch, catching the Surf onto Alteria. This time it looks like we're not going to eat an Ice Beam. The opponent then send out a Fire Spin Ninetales to meet Alteria. This is definitely not a response. The opponent goes straight for the Weather Ball. Alteria withstands the damage. Tai continuing to farm up, knowing he can easily tank another Weather Ball. You can see the boosted Fire Spins this season after the buff are chunking. However, Alteria still sitting pretty comfortably. Tai then returns fire with the Sky Attack, securing the knockout, and the opponent then send out the Quagman. Quagsire, a personal favourite of mine. If you didn't see yesterday's video, you can see Quagman sweeping team after team. However, I certainly would not recommend Water Gun. I'd recommend Mud Shot, Mud Bomb and Stone Edge. The opponent's actually on Water Gun Acid Spray. They bait a ground type with an Acid Spray like an absolute savage, but Tai undeterred, farms up, throws the Hydro Cannon. The first Hydro Cannon forces the opponent's final protection, and Swampert says there's plenty more of where that came from. The second Hydro Cannon gets some low. Swampert gets the Mud Shot farm down. Just Jellicent remains. Tai could shield this fire off the Earthquake, but of course this is an Aerodactyl showcase, so Tai gonna save his final Protect Shield for the mighty Aerodactyl. Back out comes Aerodactyl. Tai then makes a very nice catch, catching the next Surf back onto Alteria. At this point, Tai essentially just playing with his food. Back out comes Aerodactyl, and on the off chance you're gonna use Aerodactyl, both Earth Power and Rock Slide do exactly the same damage, so Rock Slide of course is cheaper and would be more energy efficient, but Tai BMs and takes that game. In the next battle we see a Gust Pidgeot into Aerodactyl. The Gusts are resisted, but it doesn't look like it as they are tearing us apart. Tai farms up, throws the Rock Slide, forcing a Protect Shield, and then we look to make a Feather Dance catch onto Alteria. Of course, no one's going to Brave Bird the Glassy Shadow Aerodactyl. Tai now stuck with a 2-stage debuff. We see the instant no shield deployed. Tai calling another Feather Dance, and the opponent continued to Feather Dance after Feather Dance and then send out a Bomber Snow. What is that quick move? Is that Leafage? I'll be honest, I forgot a Bomber Snow got access to Leafage either last season or the season before, because no one runs it other than apparently this guy. They're also on the new move of Icy Wind, which should debuff our attack. However, you can only be debuffed by 4 stages, and we're already 4-stage debuff. Tai lands the Sky Attack, snipes with Aerodactyl. Back out comes Pidgeot, looking for the Gust farm down. They don't get it. The opponent's final Pokemon is Golbat, and you know the drill. The first Rock Slide will be forcing the opponent's final Protect Shield, and the second Rock Slide is going to vanquish Golbat back to their Pokeball. GG's, and thanks for playing. In the next battle, we see Aerodactyl into Artabax. We see the instant pivot into Alteria, and the opponent also pivot out into Como-O. Dragon in the front, Dragon in the back. Is this going to be some kind of mad triple Dragon beatdown team? You can see in this matchup why Alteria was the king of the Great League for so long, as when it comes to dragons, Alteria is just the best because it's so bulky. However, the issue is his cheapest charge move is now Sky Attack, which is going to mean that Como-O is going to win the 1 shield, but undeterred, Tai comes in, snipes with the Steel Wing. I doubt the opponent returns with Artabax. I said triple Dragon, and of course, the opponent's final Pokemon is Haxorus. I can smell these degens a mile away. Tai shields up the Night Slash, returns fire with the Rock Slide. How does Tai win this game? Can Swampert sweep? Come on, Swampert, buddy. The opponent actually give up switch, sending back out Artabax, and Artabax is going to be met with the Earthquake. Come on, Earthquake. Please knock out. Earthquake does one shot. Back out. Comes Haxorus, and Ty is going to be able to outpace to the Hydro Cannon. And I don't know why I ever doubted the GOAT, because the GOAT will always do GOAT things. What a win. And that, unfortunately, is going to draw to a close today's showcase. Well, I say unfortunately, my voice is in absolute shambles, and I apologise for just how husky that I sound. However, if you're enjoying the content, smash that like button if you're new. Consider subscribing if you like your battles featured on my channel. A link to the battle submission form is down below. And as always, a huge thank you to everyone for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.